My name is Alex. I'm going to be hanging out with you here for a little bit today. If you haven't done so already, then do me a favor. And if you can hear my voice and see my screen, you should see the title slide there. Then in the question field of your GoToWebinar control panel, just type in an OK or sounds good, something there so I know that things are working. Looks like they are. Also, this is showing you where the question field is. So as we go through this, if you have questions, feel free to submit those there, and then I will do my best to answer everything once we finish in a little bit. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. So today, we are going to be going over how to grow your giving with Applos's new feature of Text to Give. Now, for those of you who are already Applos customers, you will see this as kind of an addendum to the feature set that we already offer. For those of you who do not know what Applos is, we provide online software for churches and nonprofits to do virtually everything. There's a fund accounting component, there's an online donations component, there's now text components, there's a website builder, there's email campaigns, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. Basically, we are attempting to kind of build the one-stop shop software for any church or nonprofit organization. So this webinar is going over a very specific feature that we have just released as of a week or two ago called Text to Give, and how this feature can help you grow your giving with your church. So leveraging your full system to grow is something that not a lot of people do, but is super helpful. A lot of folks end up managing kind of their back office suite as kind of isolated things. So you've got your accounting, and then you also have your budget, and then you have your donor management over here. And there's kind of these independent systems that then end up working, but again, they're independent, whereas you are one organization with lots of needs and lots of things to keep track of. And so we want to kind of provide the software and equip you to use the full gambit of what we offer for your entire growth of your church or nonprofit. So the accounting might be the backbone of the back office, but your income keeps the doors open and fuels your mission, and that is why Applos is here. So we are attempting to make simple and streamlined software to receive payments and also help you grow your giving. So why does Text to Give work? Well, a couple reasons. Mobile tools are essential for the next generation of supporters. You can reach new donors with mobile giving. So Text to Give gives you access to tech-savvy donors that don't carry cash or checks. This has been a thing for quite a while. This whole push to online giving has been a lot, fueled by people that are just young and don't carry cash or checks. So that is one advantage there, is it literally puts the power into their pocket to be able to give. Growing giving with a faster response, a donor may forget or get distracted even if they have to remember to give later. So even if you have an online donations page, for them to get home, complete the page, to remember to do that is another barrier for them to kind of jump through, as opposed to, again, just kind of putting the power into literally their little computer in their front pocket to be able to donate at any time. And then saving time for your team is also a great advantage of Text to Give. So online gifts are automatically tracked for contribution statements and in your bookkeeping in Applos. So there wouldn't be a need of having to do cash collection or plate collection or tithe box collection and then count it and then go to the bank and deposit it. Everything is just automated. So when someone gives, it goes into a WePay, it's our partner processor, holding account, which is then withdrawn to your bank account in an interval that you decide. So everything is kind of taken care of for you there. It also is helpful for events. Now, this is the church crowd, so events might not be necessarily what you're doing here, but you might do fundraising, events, or you might do some sort of congregation type thing, like Easter is coming up. And I know that we're all kind of subject to the COVID, quarantine type stuff, but you might be doing, online services or something. You might be broadcasting and providing a link for people to watch and enjoy your sermons remotely. So Text to Give works for these types of things. Don't lose donors by asking them to wait in line at the table, pull out a checkbook, or remember to give at home. Make giving easy at the moment they are asked to give. A couple of ideas is you can include the Text to Give on your pledge cards and program. So same with church service. You can hand out a program for the church service, have a number there that says just text this number with give and then an amount, and then that will automatically start the process, and they're off to the races. Same with an online service. You can also show your toll-free number on a screen during your presentation, so some sort of slide to call to action for the texting there. You can also include it on your follow-up thank you emails or your campaign emails to communicate with your constituents and your donor base. So that you can extend the impact as well. Again, we're going to take a look at how this actually manifests in the software, but it's virtually just a phone number that you tell people to text, and that's about it. It's very, very simple, and again, puts the power into their pocket. So one of our customers here, Catalyst Collective, expanded their giving with Text to Give. There's a whole kind of testimonial there that I won't read, but for the most part, what they did is they kind of followed those best practices from before at their event. They launched Text to Give at their annual fundraising event called Catalyst Got Talent. They provided instructions on the pledge card. They also provided the phone number on a presentation slide and the call for support during the presentation, calling attention to Text to Give. And their results within the first 45 days of this event is a 20% growth in active donors, which means 20% more people than what they had previously now were actively engaged in giving regularly to the organization, and a 28% growth in online donations. So again, very hard results to fight with. They have both increased their active donor base as well as disproportionately, even more so added the online donations growth, even more so than the number of people that they added. So very cool results from Text to Give. So how does Text to Give work? Well, once you have done the software side, which we'll look at here in a little bit, doing a live demo, what you do is you get a phone number and then you give that phone number to your donors. Now, once they have the phone number, here is their process here. So step one is donors text to the toll-free number that you have given them, and they can do that in two ways. They can either say give and then an amount, or give an amount and then a code that you've provided them, two different ways. Which we'll get into the nuances here in a little bit. But all they have to do is, again, at the very base, type in give 25 or some other amount. Step two is new Text to Give donors. So not people who have done this before to your organization, but new donors using Text to Give will receive an automated text to first provide basic contact information that will automatically be added into Applos's database. So your donor profile, the addresses, the phone numbers, all of that will be kept up to date in Applos for you. They will also confirm their gift amount, the purpose of the gift, and if it's a reoccurring gift. So they can set up a reoccurring gift using Text to Give as well. And then they'll enter a payment method to a secure form that is encrypted and PCI compliant. Once they have done that, so they've texted give an amount, it's then asked them, are you sure this is the right amount? What purpose would you like to give to? What's your name? What's your info? Enter your payment information. They then will get a confirmation text, an automated confirmation text once they've gone through that process. And they will also get an email from us within 30 minutes with a different kind of call to action as well, which we'll look at here in a second. Their donor contact and donation details are automatically tracked in Applos, and then funds are collected in the organization's WePay account until it's transferred to your bank. So again, we partner with WePay. They are the processor. So when someone gives, if Alex gives $100, that $100 will then go into the organization, the church or nonprofit's WePay account, which is then transferred to their bank account at an interval that they decide. So you guys can choose whether you want that done weekly, daily, monthly, whatever cadence you want there, but that will automatically sweep over to your bank. And that's it. All they do is text, confirm, and that's it. And then they get a confirmation that that process has happened. The next time, so if they decide to keep doing Text to Give, let's say they didn't do a recurring donation, they just keep doing one-time things, their information is already on file, so they don't need to fill that out. We also save their payment information. Again, it's all encrypted and very safe, so they don't need to re-enter their payment information. So all they would do is text a code with their gift and or just text another amount, and then that will automatically just pick up where they left off. And then we also wanted to give donors a simple way to kind of manage things and give on top of that. So like back on this slide, it says that they will get an email within 30 minutes. In that email is a call to action for the donors to set up what's called a My Applos profile. So this is something that they can do, or excuse me, they can set up to then log into Applos from wherever they are. And then that will show them, here is all of their donation history, all of their donation, reoccurring donations, all their pledges, all the groups they're a part of, basically any activity that they've ever had as a donor with Applos or an organization that uses Applos will be shown on this dashboard. So you can see here in the screenshot, this person actually gives to multiple organizations that use Aplos, and it shows everything here. So that way, if, hypothetically, if all of the organizations that you donate to all used Aplos, then you would be able to log in to this little portal, be able to update your contact information. You can see your donations, you can download a contribution statement, and manage reoccurring donations as well. A little testimonial here from Elaine was, OMG, this was so much easier for me. I don't have to be prepared ahead of time with my checkbook. I just click on what I want to give and I am done. Then when I want to give to a special missions collection, I can quickly do that too. So church member testimonial on this My Aplos kind of portal that we create for each online donor. So secure giving options, we take the security of things very seriously, and I will admit that I am not the most tech equipped person to explain what these things mean. So I'm going to just read them to you. If you have questions as to what 256-bit SSL encryption means, I can certainly find out more information. But rest assured that donors can give confidently knowing that their personal information is protected. There is automatic donor data collection. So donor contact information is automatically saved in our secure platform without any extra imports or exports. So again, we keep all that information consistent and updated into the Aplos system. The payment security is a PCI compliant payment processing system, and it uses the same level of protection as your bank. So again, your bank obviously takes their money very seriously. We do too. We use the same PCI compliance standards as they do. And for data encryption, Aplos includes a multi-level firewall protection and a 256-bit SSL encryption. And then the secure donor portal is where donors can log into a secure area to view their donation history, see contribution statements or giving statements, and update their payment information. So again, all of it is done completely above board. We wanted to put as much power into your and their hands as possible and do it as safely as possible as well. So as far as setting this up, so let's say you wanted to give this a shot. Text to Give uses the purposes in the Aplos system in order to give people an option of what to donate to. So when you're setting this up, you would enable it, get your phone number, and then tell the system what purposes you would like the donors to be able to choose from when doing Text to Give. So you can choose which purposes you would like donors to use when sending a gift by text. Simply create a unique text code word for each purpose. So for each purpose they're listed, for example, we have animal shelter, animal supplies in general. You would then give it a unique code. So this can be kind of a shorthand code that you create that you then give them that code, and that's what they use when they text. So option 1 is the initial setup. The donor will select a default purpose when creating their first Text to Give gift. So if Alex had texted give 25 with no other code attached to there, it's going to say, okay, are you sure it's $25? And then what do you want to give to? Here are your options: animal shelter, animal supplies, general. And then I would pick what I want my default to be going forward. Option 2 is you give them a specific code and say give, text give an amount and then this code. So that's where, if there's a specialized giving, if you're doing a campaign or an event or a fundraising initiative or something like that, and you want all of that to be funneled into a particular purpose, which is then linked to a particular fund and tag and account and all that stuff on the Aplos side, you can just tell people, okay, if you're going to text, then text give 25 or this amount and then this specific code, and that can then funnel things into that specific purpose for you. And then option 3 is once people have set things up, they can log into that donor portal, the My Aplos portal, and they can update a new default purpose. So if they wanted to, if they had attended an event and first come into contact with you and your church for some sort of building campaign or something, and then started their donations there, but then that season is ending and they want to switch their donation just going to the general fund or something, they can log in and make that change as well. So in tracking Text to Give gifts, there's an online giving report, which shows a breakdown of gift by online source type, including gift amount, purpose, and fee. There's also a donations by contact report. All text gifts are automatically tracked in your donations by contact report for contribution statements. There's also a screen where you can see reoccurring donors, so you can monitor new reoccurring donors and the status of their gifts. And then Aplos, again, because we do everything, it's not just a donation. That donation is using a purpose, which is linked to an income account, fund, and then potentially some tags as well. So if you ever wanted to do some research into how text to give is impacting your budget or department or team or event or fund, you can also run all of those accounting reports as well, which is going to factor in the text to give donations. So what does text to give cost? Well, text to give is an additional feature on top of the Aplos platform, which is a $20 a month upgrade to your Aplos subscription. And that is on top, that is basically adding to the monthly fee for Aplos is $20. And there's also then the WePay fees that are on top of that. So the $20 a month gets added to the monthly bill. And then per transaction, there is a 3% plus 30 cents fee for credit and debit cards. ACH or bank processing is 2% plus 30 cents. There is also a lower ACH rate available upon request if you have a larger volume. And then international and American Express cards are typically 1.1% more, as well as there's a higher fee for non-501c3 organizations. So that would make that 4.1 plus 30 cents for credit and debit, or 3.1 for ACH. And also organizations that use this must have a US or Canadian bank and a free WePay account. A couple of FAQs while we're here. One is, what if my subscription is annual? So you've already paid for the year and you want to turn this on. Well, you can. You will basically pay for a full year of text to give with your renewal. So you can turn it on, and until your renewal, enjoy it and hopefully add giving to your organization. And then, can I turn it on for an event and then back off? The answer is yes, but you may miss donors that wish to give by text after the event. Also, every time that you turn it on, you're not guaranteed to keep the same phone number. So if you had done it for an event, given your congregation a number, and then turned it off and then did it again, you would have to re-give them some sort of number. So if they've saved that number or picking up with the text thread, you would then have to change that to a new number. So there are advantages to keeping it on, but the answer is basically yes. You can turn it on and off if you'd like, but there might be some disadvantages there. And if you have any questions or need to know how this works or get some advice on how to set it up, our support team is free. We are available using a live chat or a text feature in the software called Intercom. We're also available by email or phone support. There's an online support center, which I'll show you a resource here in just a minute. And then we also do things like this, live webinars and personalized training if needed. And our support team is open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And that concludes the presentation side of things. So what I'm going to do now is actually bounce over to Aplos. So for those of you who use Aplos, this will look familiar. This is just a demo account I have. And I just wanted to show you how quickly this can be set up. So to find text to give, you hit your dashboard here and then go to donations, online donations, and then text to give. Now, if you don't have this turned on, then there's going to be a splash page here basically saying, do you want to turn this on? Click yes. If you don't already have a WePay account, there would be a prompt here. So if you said, okay, go ahead and create a free WePay account, that takes approximately, anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes to complete, so long as you have some bank information in front of you. And then you land here, which is basically, okay, well, go for it. Your text to give number is down here. So this is a live number. I can text this number right now with either give and then an amount, or give an amount and a code. Remember, there's 2 options there. So if people were to say give and then an amount with no code, then they would then be presented with an option. They can then choose from one of these purposes that you've added here, which you can add more purposes here. The other way is to say, okay, give an amount and then a specific code that you've given them access to. So someone on our last session said, can you do this for, in memoriam, things like that. And I said, yes. I also don't know how to spell memoriam, so I'm hoping that's right. But let's say that I had a purpose here, and this in memoriam is a purpose that I already had created. It's going to an income account and a fund and a tag. And now I want to make this as a choice that people can use with text to give. So I would say, yep, I'm going to add this purpose here. And then I created a code called MEMALEX, MEMALEX. So if I wanted to do some unique, fundraising, it sounds bad from the church. I don't mean fundraising as in, fundraiser, but if I wanted to give people a call to action or a path to give for a specific purpose, then now I can say, okay, yep, go ahead and just text give an amount to mem Alex, M-E-M Alex, to that number, and then that would start that flow. And honestly, that's it. Like, if you're just hitting the screen, it actually seems like a pretty stripped down feature, but I mean, just consider the simplicity here. You basically say, yep, I'm going to turn it on. Okay, I'm going to pick up with my current WePay account or create one, and then it gives you a number. You can then go give that number to someone immediately, and it's live. You can literally get this up and running in 30 seconds if you really wanted to. And if you wanted to add any more purposes, you can do that here. And that is generally it. Now, once people donate here, that will then flow in just like the online donations do now, to where you're going to go to the fund accounting page. There's going to be a register called WePay that you'd go over to here, which would, again, this is a demo account, but this would show all of the WePay fees and transactions here, and then that flows into your accounting, and then those people also have their donation records here in the contributions. So everything is taken care of for you. Again, you can launch this in less than a minute if you really wanted to. Put the power into people's hands for them to literally take out their little pocket computers, text like they do for the most part all day, every day, and just text an amount with a code or without a code to that number that you've given them from this page. So that is Text to Give. And we have plenty of time. So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to pause for just a couple of minutes and see what questions come through. Feel free to ask me anything. If it's something that is unrelated to Text to Give, then I might detour off and take care of it offline. But if there's any questions on Text to Give, the pricing, the promotions, anything, let me know, and I'll be back in just a minute here to answer any of your questions. Okay, got a few questions here. First one is, what setup does the person that will be giving need to do? Nothing. No setup is needed for the donor. All the donor needs is your phone number, and then they just text give and an amount, or give an amount and a code if you've provided them a code. And that's literally it. From there, they will then go through a process of just confirming the amount, confirming the purpose they want to give to, and then if they're new, if they've never done this before and we don't detect them in the system, they'll just need to provide some basic contact information, an email, phone, name and stuff like that. And then they will also add their payment information, either ACH or credit card. And then that's it. That's all they need to do. And then the fees for WePay for nonprofit organizations are the same as that you showed on the slide. Yes, the 3% for credit card, 2% for ACH, and 4.1% basically for international and Amex cards. That is the lower 501c3 rate. If you are not a 501c3 organization, then it will process at about 1% higher across the board. Good question, Heather. Yeah, the first 15 minutes. So this whole thing has been recorded. And in fact, we did a session last week as well. So that is also available. And basically once today is finalized and saved, then we're going to send everybody that registered a link to that recording. So you can catch that first 15 minutes. And actually my cousin's name is Heather Taylor. So that threw me off there for a second. Question here. We use Church Community Builder or CCB to record giving. It doesn't sound like this coordinates with CCB. So we couldn't send out a comprehensive giving statement, but would need to send one from CCB and then one from Aplos. Yeah, so the CCB integration, we basically pull in the data from CCB, but we basically will default to CCB as being kind of the authority on that side. So we assume that you will just use them for communications to your donors and contribution statements and that kind of thing. Now, that being said, if you wanted to use this feature from Aplos, you certainly could. And then what I would probably just recommend at that point is, maybe using some unique purposes that are set up for this so that you can distinguish them pretty quickly on a report. And then that would then give you a report that you could quickly get to and then go over to CCB and update CCB with that giving information. So that way you can still kind of use them as your consolidated giving portal. Now that then gets into a little bit of some nuance though, because if it's being recorded in Aplos first and then you're putting it in CCB, then you wouldn't want that to then integrate from CCB and create it again. So that might be something that we work a little bit more specifically on. But let me know if that makes sense or if you wanted to work on that a little bit offline, Kathy. Good to see you, by the way. Been a while since we've chatted. Okay, any other questions? I know that we had an hour booked for this, but mostly it's used for this kind of section. So if there are no other questions and it all sounds pretty good, then I will not take too much more of your day. One thing I will mention, as long as we're on the phone here, there is a promotion running on your dashboard. So if you're already an Applos customer and you go to your dashboard, I already have it enabled, so it's gone. But in this kind of quadrant here, there will be a promotion that we're running on turning on text to give, which will basically give you, if you turn it on either today or tomorrow, it's going to give you 3 months free of that $20 a month increase for text to give. The WePay processing fees still apply, but the subscription cost, the $20 per month, will be waived for the first 3 months. If you don't make it either today or tomorrow, I do believe that we will offer kind of an extended promotion for 2 months free starting in April. So just be watchful for that. Let's see. So how do donors get the donor side to set up their giving as an ACH? Yep. That was in the first 15, but it's pretty straightforward, Heather. So what they do is the donors will text either give and an amount or give an amount and a code. If they give either path, what it does is if they're a new text to give donor, it'll basically ask, okay, are you sure this is the right amount? Are you sure this is the purpose you want to get to? And then they confirm that. And then it asks them for their payment information in the text thread. So at that point, it opens up a PCI compliant portal where they can enter their credit or debit card information or ACH information. And then that will then start that process of saving that payment information to their profile. So the next time that they give, they can simply just text give and an amount, and it'll automatically apply that to the giving method, payment method on file with them. Okay, one last question, and it's a good one from Domingo. If the donor wants to pay the fees, do they have this option? You know what, with text to give at the moment, this is not currently an option. They will just give, and then the fees are accrued by the entity, or you would basically receive the net value of that. That is something that we do plan to add. I want to say soon. It's on our list. I don't know what the development timeline looks like, but we are aware of that, and we do plan to allow for that at some point. That is an option for those giving through an online donation form with Applos. So you can create a form or a widget and have people donate on your website, and then they can choose to pay the fee. But doing that via text is still kind of en route. Let's see, if a donor's info is set up and they need to change their payment info, does it give them that option? Yeah, there is a donor portal. So once someone donates, that will basically send them a confirmation email within 30 minutes. That confirmation email has a call to action to where they can create a donor profile with Applos. So they can log in, they can see their history, they can download contribution statements, they can also update their payment information there. So specifically, that only really works with credit cards, though. So if the credit card expires or something like that, they can keep that up to date. If it's an ACH change, they would actually have to cancel any reoccurring donations and then reset it up with the new ACH information, since changing banks is a little bit more complicated than changing credit cards. Alrighty. Well, again, today it was being recorded, so this recording will be available pretty soon. You should get an email from us within the next day or two with the link to that. And if you have any other questions, feel free to contact our support team. We're more than happy to help. Our phone number is 888-274-1316. Or if you're logged into the software, on the bottom right here is a little happy face chat bubble looking thing. You can use this to start a thread with us as well. All right. Well, until then, thank you for attending. I know things are a little crazy in the world these days, but thank you for taking the time out of your day. Stay safe, and we will see you next time. Talk to you soon.